Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. We're looking at Season 5, Episode 2, Mortal! Yes, so Clark is now human, and they gotta put up the barn, but he can't use his powers because he doesn't have them anymore, or his abilities, as she said. But the three escapees from Belle Reeve crashed the party, and we have a hostage situation, and Mr. Kent. Yeah. I like this episode. So, before I get into this episode, can you guys let me know, when did I stop doing the rating system? I swear, I was doing ratings, the Supermans out of 10 or whatever, and I looked at the last 3 episodes of the last season I was doing them, so I went all the way out at the beginning and I didn't do it. When did I stop doing those? Did I say I was going to stop doing it after season? I don't remember. So I gave that one the score. Superman logos out of... I don't know. I guess I just won't do them anymore if I stopped. So yeah, we start at Belle Reeve. Lex Luthor is walking by as they're moving these 3 patients. 2 are twins, and the other one, who I will just be calling Sparky for this whole review, is played by my man Kenny Johnson, Lemonhead from The Shield. Yes, he was also in that movie with Goldberg. I don't remember the name, but they kept playing Simple Man all the time. I'll be a simple kind of man. Yeah, that I forget what it was called. But yeah, it was... Yeah, that. He's in that movie. I like the actor. He's really good in this. And I liked him on The Shield. I need to start going back through The Shield. I only made it partway through season 1. My grandma had the first 2 seasons, and I borrowed them. Only made it partway through season 1, and I gave them back. She wanted them back. Because I took too long to watch through them. But I have the entire series now, so I have no excuse. I haven't even started rewatching those yet, but I need to. He was one of my favorite characters. Him and Walton Goggins were good on the show. But anyway. Yeah, so they have the armband thingies that are red, but then they're red when they're working, but green when they're deactivated. Shouldn't it be the other way around? I don't know. When something happens, they bump into Lex, it deactivates the thing, and they go free, they escape. And we get opening credits. Somebody save me. Hey, good news for me, Lois is not in this episode. Yeah, I'm swinging up on Lois. Her dialogue with Clark in the last episode was kind of nice. And then when I was looking back at the end of the previous episode, I'm like, I said I wanted her to get hit by a meteor, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I hit Lois, don't I? But no, she gotta sweeten on me, because I just don't like how they shoehorn her into the show. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so everybody's at the barn raising, like they're Amish or something. But they gotta do it this way because Clark no longer has powers. Even then, I was thinking when they were doing this, I'm like, how would they explain it? Like, they're getting everybody here together to raise the barn. And I'm like, but if Clark still had his powers and he just fixed it, he fixed everything with them, how would they explain that to the people? How would they be like, oh, we got it fixed just fine, just the 3 of us, we did it. Okay. And Martha looks pretty good walking around after she was on crutches at the end of the last one. She's perfectly fine now. We're just walking around. You know, everyone's there. Even Lex shows up for some reason. And Chloe laments how she finally knows about Clark's secret and he's just normal now. And he's like, well, you know, I'm normal now, Chloe. I'm different. That lasts for exactly 1 more episode. We'll see. But, yeah. So... Yeah, Clark needs to go get some nails, and Lana says, I'll go with you. Which, it kind of reminds me of, I just thought of this now. It reminds me of the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man. When you go, where will you go when you're done? And I'll go home. When you do, will you take me with you? She's like, I'll go with you. Yeah, so they go back to the barn, to get the nails, and they decide to start making out. And then that turns into almost sexy times. Yeah, because they start making out, and then they go up to the couch, and Tom Welling has to have his shirt off, so off it goes. And as they start to make out and get to sexy times, he's like, "Well, hold on. I wanted our first time to be really special, because it's also my first time." She goes, "Well, it's mine too." And they bring up, "Well, nothing with you and Jason? No, you and Alicia? No." And then they, he's like, "You're the only one I ever loved. If I'm the only one you ever loved." No, was Rodney Carrington for it. But yeah. And then she gets on top of him. They really go into sexy time until they hear a noise. And then Clark puts his shirt on. And I'm gonna talk about this now because it is revealed. You can't notice it. I don't think. At least my eyesight, I can't notice it. But it is said later when the parents walk into the house that your shirt's on inside out. So he has his shirt on inside out this entire time. You think, well, he must have changed it. No, he's here when they show up and they're taken hostage. He wears it there. He goes with Chloe to Luthor Corp all the way back. And even by the time he gets back to save the day, his shirt, because you can see it once he goes to tackle Sparky, it's still inside out. That is a great continuity. They could have just switched it and said, "Oh, he changed it when he left." No. This shows that Clark is so intent on getting this done, he doesn't care that his shirt's inside it. You know me, how much it would bug me? I'm autistic. I have ADD. I would not be able, no, it would be telling me all the time, switch it. It would, no. Once, if I didn't notice it, then it wouldn't bug me. But once someone tells me, "Hey, your shirt's inside out," I would have to switch it right away. Hostage, okay. Change it right away. Yeah, so they hear a noise and they think it's the mom and dad. He just assumes it's mom, dad, which later they pull up in the truck and I'm like, you would have heard the truck, right? I know he doesn't have super hearing anymore, but he would have heard the truck pull up. You can, no, it's them. They come in. The two twins, the only time in the episode, use their force field powers to push him up on the ceiling. Yeah. And so it's revealed that these three guys were at Bellreeve, but they were they were experimented on at Luthor Corp level 3, which will evolve into 33.1 in the next season, but at level 3. And they were given this little green cocktail, and they had cable TV and gourmet cooking and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden they shut everything down, they pushed them away, and the cocktail stopped coming. It's a tactic that war leaders use to get people to do what they want. They butter them up, they give them all this stuff, they get them addicted to something, that kind of thing. It's what, not war leaders. Drug lords. Drug lords do to people. They get them all hopped up, and they say, "Oh, I'll give you more. I'll give you more. You do this for me." I've seen it in many movies with drugs. That's what their allegory is here. So he says, "I want Clark to go to Luthor Corp and get the stuff, because if what we hear about you is true, you can do it. You can do it." So he agrees to do it. He's got 2 hours. So he gets with Chloe. He gets to Chloe, and they go to Luthor Corp. And Chloe hacks the system because they have to. It's here we get some dialogue that mentions Pete, because he's crawling through the air ducts because he has to, and he's like, she's like, "You must have done this before." And he's like, "Yeah, but Pete wasn't this chatty," or something like that. And she goes, "Pete!" And he's like, "You told Pete? I kind of had to. He saw my ship. He got to see your ship?" The ship was destroyed now, but yeah. And then he there does a security protocol that's shutting everything down, and then he hangs 10. But we find out that Lex is watching, so he did that, right? She's like, "You must have tripped him." No, he pushed a button to do that, to get him to go faster, right? He hangs and he ends up climbing all the way down and eventually finds the vault with the stuff in it. They cut back and forth, but I'm kind of doing this there. Finds the vault with the stuff in it. Chloe opens it up. It's kryptonite, of course it is. And he goes to reach it, and it zaps him like a laser thing. And he gets zapped. And Lois says it's going to take too long. Chloe? I fuse them together. Chloe says it's going to take too long to do that. So Clark comes up with an idea. Meanwhile, back at the farm, Sheriff shows up. And Mr. Kent, Sheriff shows up and tells them that I'm like, wait, why is she showing up here? But she does give a reason. She's like, oh, there's three very bad people escaped from Belle Reeve, and we found their car about half a mile away from here. I'm like, okay. But then I'm sitting there going, you fucking idiots. Like, if he was able to have his powers the way the powers should work, you could blow up the car and it'd be, you know. But I don't know how they know what vehicle it was they steal. I don't know. But it's shown that in order for him to use his powers, he's got to connect it to a power line or something, like the electrical system in the house, to do it. He goes like this all the time. He's got to do it. And that is called back to. So, yeah, so she's there, and she doesn't about it. Where's the missus? She's still at the barn raising. And that's when she goes, oh, I was just there. I didn't see her. I'd be like, of course she's going to go to the barn raising first. It's on the way. So if I was Jonathan, I'd be like, oh, she's decided to go upstairs and lay down. She's still kind of, healing from her injuries last time. She kind of wanted to take a little rest. By the way, she never asks where Clark is at all. She never asks where Clark is. Lana is there with Mr. Kent, and that's it. She never asks where Clark is. She's already been to the barn raising. She knows he's not there. But she asks where Mrs. Kent is. She doesn't ask where Clark is. Yeah. Then she stays for coffee. And if this is supposed to drop tension, I'd be like, no coffee. No, it's too late in the day, but no. For coffee. Drinking the coffee. She says, oh, I gotta get going. Yeah, she's trying to track down 3 criminals. And she puts the coffee cup down, though. She sees a pack of cigarettes, which are Sparkies. And she's like, well, man, with your heart condition, you shouldn't take up smoking, Mr. Kent. And Lana's like, oh, those are mine. I took them up after the, after the meteor shower. Nerves. I still don't understand how anyone would just take them up because they're nervous. I get it if you're a former smoker and the nerves get too much and you want to go back to it. I understand that. But to say that you had too much nerves and took up smoking for the first time, no, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you're nervous. My thing is eating. I guess everyone has a vice that they go to when they're nervous, but eating food is a more comfortable way than smoking. It's not going to affect your lungs. You're going to get fat and your heart will explode, but, I don't know. But, obviously, I eat when I'm nervous. And also, when I get nervous or my nerves get really bad, I have to go sit on the toilet. I don't know what happens, but when my nerves get really high, it's like automatic system flush, and I have to sit on the toilet. It's really weird. It happens. I don't know why, but it does. That's when I get really, really, really nervous. Almost like anxiety type situation. Which is why I say you shouldn't drink Prime, because I had Prime, right? And there was way too much sugar in that, and it got me, all my nerves all messed up, got me going, and my anxiety really high, and I came home from the Royal Rumble, watching it at Big LT's place, and I was on the crapper for a half hour, 45 minutes. Yeah, fuck Prime. I don't know. I don't understand why WWE promotes that shit anyway. You should not be promoting sugary stuff to kids. I don't know, but what was this is worse than any sugary cereal or candy bar you can give. When I can have one drink and I'm already going, no, that stuff should be outlawed. It's worse than Surge. It's worse than Vault. It's worse than any of the sugary energy drink stuff that's out there. No. Then again, it may affect people differently because I have a history of too much sugar in my system. My mom has always said I might be borderline diabetic, so trying not to have too much sugar. I drink the zero sugar Mountain Dew, as you know, trying not to have too much sugary stuff. Even with the food review I did earlier, I stopped eating them. I did have a little bit more. I put them away and then I come back out again. No, I shouldn't be having so much sugar. I'll have a candy bar every once in a while, but like I want to, Anyway, back to this. So the sheriff doesn't believe that those are her cigarettes. So she immediately calls on the radio. And she gets knocked by Sparky, in front of her squad car. I want you to remember that. In front of her squad car, Lana tries to take out the twins with a nail gun to one of their hands. Apparently, one feels the other's pain, but they activate the force field around the entire camp farm, which also encapsulates the big front yard area, because Jonathan fucking tackles Sparky, jumps off the porch and tackles him. This doesn't have a heart condition. Fucking tackles him, knocks him on his ass, and like they have a little bit of a struggle, but ultimately Jonathan isn't strong enough. They get the force field up and he takes him back in the house. Now, I pointed out the sheriff thing because when they cut back outside, she is standing outside of the force field. No bullshit. She was inside the radius of the force field when it activated. She was knocked in front of her car, and the radius stops right in front of her car. So, no, she would be within the radius of the thing. But no, they have to have her on the outside because when Clark shows up, which he does, with a briefcase saying it's stuff, it's the stuff, and she lets him in, and it turns out it's a flashbang grenade that Lois gave Chloe as a graduation present, which is about earlier. I'm like, I wonder if they use that. I forgot. It's been a while since I've watched these, and I'm like, how does he get out of this? And I'm like, what's in the briefcase? When it goes up, I go, oh duh, that's why they brought up the flashbang grenade. So yeah, and then Clark, he can't see anything, so he tried to use the electricity thing, but Clark moves, and they hit the twins, which means the force field is down, and then Clark destroys the electricity, so now there's one more thing they gotta fix, or repair, and then beats the crap out of Sparky, and they get arrested. And they go to jail, directly to jail, do not pass go, not collect $200, you're going to jail. Well, Bell Reed, but still, same thing. Same thing. Yeah, Chloe shows up and says this is when it's revealed that there was a secondary feed and someone was watching. Clark goes to Lex's mansion. And man, this scene was cathartic. I got up to go get something to drink from the fridge. And Clark comes in and he accuses Lex of doing anything. Of course, Lex, even when caught doing something, denies it. Clark, I don't know what you're talking about. He was sitting there watching and he gets, it's impossible. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Clark punches him in the face, knocking him on his ass. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And just basically he says, we're done. This friendship is over. I'm done. I gave you a second chance. You can't let it go. I'm done. And he walks off. I think he hit Clark too, did he? Or something. Yeah, he does. He punched him because he starts bleeding. He's like, are you satisfied? Yeah. And then, so he goes to Clark. He changed the shirt, by the way. Finally, he's like, this is inside out. I'm changing it. He has the button-up blue flannel. So he goes to see Lana at the Talon, and they talk a little bit, and then sexy times. But the continuity from this episode to the next episode has never made sense, and I'll talk about it when we get to the next episode. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. It just doesn't. I'll talk about it when we get there. But yeah, they talk a little bit, and they have the sexy times. His shirt comes off. He sort of, a little bit of her shirt comes off, and smoochy, and then it cuts to credits. So yeah, pretty good episode. Not gonna lie. I enjoyed Kenny Johnson in the episode. He was really good. You know, he was really good at portraying that. He gets very, I don't want to say intense, but like he portrays that kind of addict character where it's getting to the point where he needs it. It's starting to get to him. He's having withdrawals and he's getting more and more erratic as it's getting there. And so he's, so you can tell that he's probably been off of it the most. Which is a good plan if you're doing that, because you have him off it the most, then he's the one that's going to keep pushing the things through, even if the others aren't. So, I don't know. If he likes anyway. But yeah, not a bad episode. So I remember when I first watched this episode, I was confused, because I had to wait for the DVDs to come, because we didn't have cable at this time. And so eventually, stop tinkling. Or tinking. Dinking? Stop dinking. Anyway, I remember that I was confused with the whole taking of his power thing, because I had seen a later episode when I was at my grandma's one time. It's a vampire episode, and he had his powers. So I'm like, okay, so how long doesn't he have his powers for? The answer is 3 episodes. So yeah, next episode he'll get his powers back, but we'll get there. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.